Hello and welcome to our podcast. My name is Natasha.
And my name's Lauren.
Join us as we discuss all things Neighbours.
And it's unfinished business.
Hello, thanks for joining us for our pilot episode. In this episode, we will be catching up on the old episodes as well as the excitement for the new ones.
We also will hear from fans down at the Neighbours Experience, and they are going to give you their take on their visit over the weekend, and we're going to give you our take of the visit over the weekend. Plus, we want to get you involved in our new chapter predictions.
So, Lauren, how have
Yes.
you been going with the old episodes?
Well, not as well as you. I'm only on 2018. And what are you on? The end. You finished it, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've basically gone through since March 2,598 episodes. Can you imagine?
The fact that you know
I don't have a life.
Just...
I don't have a life.
But the fact that you know the exact amount is a little bit like extreme. Like
obsessive.
Yeah, okay. Obsessive.
I said it. Put it
out there. Definitely obsessive. So where am I up to? I am up to Teresa's just asked Gary to remarry her. Ben's left and dumped Xanthi. Yeah, we love Felix Mallard. Where else? What else happened? Oh, Piper's been trapped in the back lane bar with that guy who she thought was underlining the stuff in the books. That's where I'm up to.
Creepy guy. Creepy guy, to be fair.
Yeah, but obviously Ellie, Aaron and Xanthi have realised that he's a creepy guy. And obviously I'm hoping, from what I can remember, I know she gets out safely, but yeah. That's where I'm up to.
Cool.
So,
well,
but
I can't really say much about where I am. It's the last episode, so watch the last episode.
Yeah, but I mean, what did you like? How are you feeling? Like, did you get the same feelings that you got watching them you did the first time? Like, did you remember it the same way around, or was it completely different?
I feel like before I thought there was just too much. I mean, people are going to hate me. Too much Mike and Jane in the two episodes. But rewatching it, I was kind of like, actually, this is pretty sweet. So I appreciated that a bit more. And I think after meeting Annie at the celebration tour, she's a sweetheart. So yeah, I really appreciated that.
Cute.
But in terms of Susan's monologue, as you know, I can't. Yeah.
I mean, you can't watch it. Yeah, when you watched it when it actually happened? Yeah. We then went to the Palladium and celebration tour, and they did the monologue, and you were crying. They showed the clip that you're crying your eyes out, which made me cry. And then you went again in Southampton and probably did the same. And then you watched it obviously recently, and there's just something about that end scene and what she says, and it's just, I don't know.
I mean, credit to the writers. Credit to the writers for that, because it was just sublime. It was beautiful. But also the fact that it was delivered by my soap mum, Susan Kennedy. It was just so special. I don't think anyone else could have actually done that. It wouldn't have been the same if it was Toadie, Paul, Carl. It just wouldn't have been the same.
Yeah. We were talking about the other day, though, weren't we? How it was all the OGs at the end as well, which I thought was really special. It was a nice way to end it, and it was a good ending. And obviously, at the time, we were all like, "Oh my god, we can't believe this is the end." But obviously, look where we are now. The new chapter starts on Monday. Are you excited?
Woohoo! Really excited. I don't know. I'm actually going to save the episodes. We discussed this earlier.
I know.
I'm going to save the episodes till the end of the week, because how I used to watch the episodes were 5 in a row that week. Watch it at the end of the week, so I can just blitz through it.
I actually don't think I can. I think I'm going to be too excited. I'm going to have to watch tomorrow's episode.
Yeah, and I think you're very eager to not, because you've been looking at the spoilers already. And I don't mind spoilers, but I'm not necessarily looking out for them.
No.
But so you want to watch it as
okay. So talking of new episodes, like, and these spoilers that have been put out, some, you know, stuff from the trailer, etc. There's this big like debacle over like who's getting married and stuff, and obviously people have their views on who they think it's going to be. Like, you know, what's your opinion of, you know, what you've seen from the trailer and the spoilers that you have seen?
So I've just seen the Toady Therese one, and I'm just going, what? I think we should be allowed to swear on this podcast. We should do it explicit. But anyway, what the fuck? Anyway, first expletive. It was me. Of course, it would be me. Yeah. So yeah, no, definitely Toady and Therese. I mean, we've kind of discussed this at length and tried to think outside the box of the only thing that I can think of, if that is the case, is that they have bonded over Therese's drinking. And what we haven't seen is she's gone back to the drink. As we know, Sonia was an alcoholic as well, recovering, but yeah, she was. So I'm thinking Toady might have some kind of sympathy there and supported her through that. And then they've actually just accidentally kissed one day.
Yeah, what was it I said to you? I said, oh, that something to do with like some sort of crime or something. I was a bit far-fetched. Some sort of crime has happened and Cody's had to support Therese and be her lawyer, etc. And then obviously they've then got close that way. But I don't know, or it's a cover-up, that the weddings are just a cover-up for something else, or a dream sequence or something. But then there's clips of obviously Jane getting ready for the wedding and welcoming the new family, and I was like, it was a dream sequence. That situation wouldn't be happening. Like, it's all a bit like up in the air, but I suppose we'll find out soon, won't we? So even, I mean, we had that little blip on the train earlier on our way home where I just accidentally said, "Oh, it could be Paul and Toady."
Yeah, we cracked up on the train. I think people thought
we
were nuts.
I was like, don't even know where my brain was going. I was getting so excited about what was to come. I just went.
But they said there was a twist, right? Yeah, and that is like that is really unlikely. It might be they might have turned gay.
You never know.
It has happened.
It is true.
So, Lauren, I thought it would be nice to give the people listening a little bit about ourselves, a little introduction. So I don't know if you wanted to start.
So the first point I want to actually mention is how you and I actually know each other. So we actually met, I believe, online first. We got chatting, and this was all to do with the band Take That, if any of you know who they are.
Hopefully most people in the UK will.
So we are massive fans of Take That, and we both went to a theatre show one night and just happened to like bump into each other. I think it was 2015, I want to say, around that time.
2015,
and yeah, I mean, we've just been friends ever since, really. And then as time's gone on, we realised that we have multiple things in common, with Neighbours being obviously one of the top things that we have in common. I mean, in regards to my story and how I got into Neighbours, I think my earliest memory is probably watching it with my grandma at her house. And I want to say it was the lunchtime episodes, which means I must have been young, because I couldn't have been at school, because I don't understand why I would be watching them in the daytime. And then as time went on, it was the slot that was after all the children's programs on TV.
Yep, same.
But then I feel like I dropped out at some point, and I can't exactly place where it was, and then got back into it probably just before these set of episodes that have been released on Amazon Freevee. I want to say just before that, because I don't think I can remember much more. And the Dee and Toady wedding, although I remember it, I'm like, do I remember it from watching it?
Yeah.
Or do I remember it because it's been shown so often?
Yeah.
So obviously I would say my Neighbours time, although I would say it's probably the late 90s, has been probably from like 2010 maybe onwards. So yeah, that's mine. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much a similar story. I just remember coming home, it was on CBBC, after CBBC, and just watching it every weekday. So kind of around about when the Kennedys won the show, so that's why I love them so much. And yeah, I kind of dropped out at uni, so went to uni 2006, and I was in Canterbury, and they didn't have Channel 5, so that's when it actually moved over to Channel 5. So I think it was 2007. So 2007 probably to about 2011, 2012, which is when the 10 years of episodes have been on Freevee. Yeah, just kind of lost touch. I'd love to have those episodes actually on Amazon Freevee at some point, so I can actually rewatch that, because there are certain characters that are referenced and I don't actually know much about them.
Who they are, yeah.
In terms of my favourite characters now, obviously Mum and Dad, Susan and Carl, for sure, they're up there. You've got to love Toadie, you've got to love Paul. I love Harold. I love Lou. I miss them as a comedy duo. And yeah, my teen crush was Tad, if you remember him.
I don't know if I remember him.
Toadie's cousin. Yeah, it was Tad and Paul, who he lived with, I think, Madge and Harold for a bit. And obviously Jonathan Dutton is actually married to, what's Sonia's name in real life?
Eve Morley.
Eve. Yeah.
Is it Eve Morley? I don't know.
Maury. That's
Maury.
it. So they're married. So yeah, and he was actually in the last episode, actually, in the video slot. So yeah, with a goatee.
Oh, I do remember him. Yeah.
And my current crush, as much as he's not in it anymore, of course, is Mark Brennan. Team Mark Brennan all the way. We're actually 100%. Team Mark Brennan and Paige as well, not Kate. So in terms of people that I can't stand, two of them, which they kind of alternate, it's Kate and Ellie. So yeah, what about you?
But same, and I just think people are going to be like, oh, it's because, like, you know, you like Paige so much and you don't like them because they were with Mark. But like, it's not that. I just don't know what it is. It just, yeah, no one has ever been right for Mark apart from Paige. They just work.
Exactly.
They just work. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, yeah. Mark is up there, number one. I mean, we vandalised the experience yesterday with his name everywhere. Oh God. So you saying about Tad, I think I was more a bit Lee Kennedy.
He's pretty tasty as well, though.
Yeah,
isn't he?
like, because I like a pretty boy, and he was a bit of a pretty boy, wasn't he?
It's Drew. The curtains, isn't it? The curtains, the 90s curtains.
Yeah, and I like Drew as well. I thought Drew was quite hot. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, Lou and Harold as a comedy duo, just the absolute best.
Miss them.
Yeah, and like even Toadie, like watching those episodes earlier, like he's just has to interject some sort of comedy where he can, but then like,
but it's almost like Toadie and Carl are like the new Harold and Lou.
Yeah.
Like they have that, you know, that kind of 100%. Dynamic.
100%. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's it for me. Think so.
Cool. Just thought now would be a good time to put out 2 rules we have for this podcast. Yeah. So the first one is that in terms of the characters that we say that we don't like and we're a bit unfavourable towards, we are talking about the characters. We are not talking about the actors or actresses. Yeah. Just want to put that out there, because we don't want to get any hate for that. We've all got opinions, and in the future we may have fans on who might want to say who they like and don't like, so we just want to put that out there now. The second thing is, this is not, I repeat, not a spoiler-free zone. So we are pro spoilers. If we see them, we'll read them, we'll look at the photos, but we're not going to keep them from this. So if you don't like the spoilers, and you haven't caught up with the episodes, then it's best to listen to this later on.
At a later date. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, no, amazing. So we were actually at the Neighbours Experience this weekend in London and bumped into some fans after their slots. We caught up with them to see what they thought.
So yeah, really brilliant morning. So exciting to see loads of iconic outfits on the set. I was really surprised how much there was to see in there. Lovely to sort of catch up with old friends as well. And I'm really excited for the new chapter. Lots of new characters. Excited to find out what's been happening in the 2 years since. I know there's a fast forward. And yeah, I can't wait for the next adventure. Bring back Piers.
I thought the experience was great, and I think my favourite bit was actually looking through the scripts and just being able to do that really. And I love sitting in the Kennedy's living room because I just love Billy Kennedy, so that was great to see him again. And my favourites are Paul and Therese, so looking to see how they're getting on now.
That was absolutely amazing. So many things that you'd want from an experience like this. I think this just provided everything. I think just having our show back is like a break from reality and just being able to sit down and just watch it again.
Oh, it was the best thing ever. It's the closest thing to being in Australia if you can't afford to go and see the Neighbours tour. Very, very well done. Really happy with it. I think my favourite bit was the Kennedy household. It was just so surreal sitting on their sofa knowing the history that house has. And what I'm looking forward to from the new series is seeing how it's developed over the last 2 years of the jump. Just really looking forward to it.
It was really good to see a lot of the old stuff, watch the wedding, see Kylie's wedding dress, Mike's jacket from the last show. Yeah, and just all the stuff, like all the pictures, just get me excited for Monday.
The experience is great. It's full of treats and Easter eggs for fans. It doesn't matter how long you've been watching, there's something that covers all eras, lots of hidden scripts, costumes, lots of treats for everyone. Well, I love the little script office, particularly. If you search hard enough, there's lots of little sneak peeks for the episodes to come, as well as some favourite episodes from the past. I think it is revisiting these wonderful characters, seeing what they've been up to for the last 2 years, and also what treats there are to come.
Thank you so much, guys, for those of you that helped out. That was incredible. We loved hearing your favourite bits, and it was great to meet you all.
So, Lauren, what did you think of the experience?
Oh, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to get to Australia. So to actually go and be on the set of Neighbours and see the famous Harold's Cafe and get your photo outside, it was awesome. I loved having the little cups we had with the Harold's Cafe. It was really cute. And oh my god, the bit where we went in and they surprised us with the fake acting thing. We were just a bit oh, what's going on? And then you've got the Lassiter's key. It's just the little touches that they did. I thought they were really clever. And then I think probably, of course, the Kennedy's house. Who doesn't want to be in the Kennedy's living room and have a picture with that, that portrait? And I have to say, probably another favourite part was probably the script writers table, because there's so many little things that were clues to the new episode. But then we also had information and scripts from the old episodes, and it was almost we were saying earlier, weren't we, a little escape room, these little things that you had to find.
We felt like detectives.
Yeah, literally, we were right, we're sat in Mark Brennan's office right now playing detective with him. That's for another day. But anyway, it was really fun. And then like writing the names, like our names on like the back of the set, and seeing obviously all the cast that's written their little messages, like Carl Kennedy saying like doctor consultations available now, like, you know, his silly little wit that he, you know, that he is and does. It was really good. I loved it. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, love the messages that we did right at the end. That was very 90s. It felt like, you know, when we used to the last day of the school in primary school, and we'd like write on our t-shirts little messages. That's how it felt. Just also reading everyone's messages, that knowing that everyone that's been there and visited, including the cast, how it all means to us. It's just this weird kind of warm community feel, like we're in our bubble, and there's no nastiness, you know, it's just all positive. We're so grateful to have the show back. Thank you, Amazon Freevee, for taking it on. It just felt like, you know, immense gratitude, really. And for me, we did love the script room. We were there for ages.
And we went back looking through
everything. It did feel like a detective room. But definitely the Kennedy's house. I mean, to see the family portrait and be like, oh my God, these are my siblings. Oh my God. Like there was a lot of messing around in that room. Also seeing like the costumes. I know everyone's going to say Charlene's wedding dress, but for me it was actually seeing Harold's Salvation Army uniform. I was like, oh my God,
was cool. I took a picture of a pair of jeans actually, and inside in the label it said like Neighbours and then Toady written on them, and I was like, oh my God, Ryan Maloney has actually worn these jeans. Like,
ew,
it's just
sweaty balls. Ew.
Natasha, I don't think I'm going to include that in this podcast.
You can include it.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
We're just going to end it on Tony's sweaty balls. You've got to say something after that.
Mark Brennan's. I mean, I just wish that there was more of this. Like, we know that Friends has an experience. It would be really good if this could somehow develop into something more regular and permanent, because I think if it was there like regularly, I'd be going once a week,
all the time. Just gonna go and sit in Harold's cafe and have a cup of tea.
It was just, I think it was, I mean, it's not like there were that many sets, but I think what they tried to do was, it was the little touches, like you said, you know, the cups, being able to just sit there and have a beverage, the script room with all of the different pieces, you know, actually having an insight into what it's like to be one of the writers. That was really special.
Really interested me, like all the staging points. Like it would say like so and so would be stood next to so and so, and it would even say like what facial expression they were making, and it was so in depth. And it's like to actually see a proper script, which was Jason's copy, was just really, really interesting.
But you can also see how that stage direction, kind of, not really set direction, you know, like Alan or, you know, Jackie might look at that and go, well, actually, to the director, well, actually, that's not how Susan would be. Like, they're very protective over their characters. And having that openness between the two of them, director and actor, to actually go, actually, you know what, they would do it like this, not so much like this. Because I can imagine that, yes, that might be the final draft, but there's room for manoeuvre
and improvisation at times, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah.
Not so much though, if I can recall from something that April once said on the tour. She said that she got away with a few improvisations, but apart from that, everything was what the script said. So,
but I reckon the higher up you go in terms of you know, the Neighbours hierarchy.
Rank.
Like,
so yeah,
there's a bit more.
So Jackie and Alan probably could get away with murder.
Yeah, and Stefan.
Yeah.
And
anyway, guys, that was our take on the experience. Hope you have loved hearing all about it, and hopefully, like Tash said, it is going to be around again, and you guys get to go and see it.
So now I thought it would be pretty cool if we made some predictions ahead of the new chapter. So the idea would be we'll see who gets the most right as and when they come up on the show.
Okay.
So we actually sent out a survey. It was on our socials, the link, and we got fans to write their predictions as well.
Yeah.
So we actually collected those, and the ones that we're giving to you as the fan answers are actually the general consensus, so the majority of the fans. I know that there were other answers, but this is the majority have answered with this particular person. So we'll just go through it, and we'll see how we go.
Awesome.
So the first question we asked was, who will be the first to mention Lassiter's? And the general consensus with the fans was that it was going to be Paul.
I mean, that's a pretty obvious answer, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, we would expect it to be Paul, but there are several other characters on the show that could actually mention it. This is including guest stars, by the way.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Like, yeah, the obvious answer is clearly Paul. But I mean, who's to say that he still owes Lassiter's?
Exactly.
So, I mean, what are you saying?
I'm saying, I reckon it's Lucy.
Yeah. Actually, we do know that Paul owns Lassiter's because there's a clip of him in the hotel with Holly. We've seen that already, haven't we? So,
but he's not necessarily gonna mention it first.
Maybe it's Carl, because Carl, I think, gets a job with Holly at Lassiter's. So maybe Holly arrives, and Carl says, "I'm going to get you a job at Lassiter's."
Could be Holly, could be Carl, could be anyone.
We've got to make our predictions, though. So what's your final answer?
It's gonna be Lucy for sure.
I think it's going to be Carl.
Okay, interesting answer. Right, so
I'm just throwing it out there, something different, you know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is also, it might be a character that's not currently guest starring, but might guest star in 6 months' time.
There we go.
We don't know. So, Mark Brennan.
Oh, yes, please.
Please. Anyway, so the second question we asked was, who will be the first to use Toadie as their lawyer? Now, the fans answered, the general consensus with them was Jane.
I find that odd. Why?
Yeah.
Why would it be Jane?
Well, we have our predictions about Mike. So maybe it could be something to do with... My spoiler is that he's dying. No, we don't know that, but we think that they're going to kill Mike off, and maybe it's to do with the will.
Yeah, true. So
maybe
is that your answer too?
That's not my answer.
Jane as well?
No, I actually think it's either Carl or Susan. It's going to be a Kennedy, because I feel like the stuff with Montana, like the money, 2 years is a good time for a lawsuit.
Yes.
So I feel like that's going to be the first person to use the persons. It's difficult because it's their money, so they're almost like a joint.
Or there's a secret.
Yes, there is a secret.
There?
Yes.
I reckon Susan has done the lawsuit, and potentially Carl doesn't know about it. It's behind his back. So I think it could be Susan.
It could be.
Now I'm thinking about it more. All these little ideas are coming out.
Well, I think it's a Kennedy thing with Toadie.
Okay.
So I'm kind of leaning on your answer.
We're going for one of the Kennedys.
Yeah, one of the Kennedys.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see if it's Jane or the Kennedys. Right, next. So the next one we asked was who will be the first to reference the blue box? Now, the fans said it'd be Carl.
I mean, there is that clip in the trailer of him holding the blue box, but maybe Susan asks him to get the blue box.
I think it's Susan as well, because she's a little minx. She's a little minx.
Dirty dog.
She is. I mean, the way they flirt, I just love it. Honestly, perfect couple. Even though through all the ups and downs, I love them. Yeah. So is that our final answers? That is Susan. I think we're in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next one is question 4. We asked who will be the first to mention Gary the Pigeon. I love Gary the Pigeon. Little Pidgey. So the fans, they said general consensus is Therese, which I guess is a logical, the only one that's close to Gary.
Just thinking though, was Gary the Pigeon even in the final episodes? Did they not release him or something? So why would anybody mention him?
But he's a homing pigeon, so he could come back.
Also,
and you never know. You never know. Kyle might come back.
Yeah.
With Roxy.
Why would it be Therese? Because Therese has moved on. She's not thinking about Gary anymore.
I don't think so. No, I reckon it could be someone like Paul. I mean, I'm just thinking.
I mean, bring Sheila Canning back. She'd be talking about Gary all the time.
Yeah, Colette. We love you, Colette.
We do love Colette. God, that's a really hard one. I'm actually quite stumped for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's going to mention Gary the Pigeon first? Or maybe Toadie.
Could be Toadie. Could be Nell.
Yeah, it could be Nell. Or I'm thinking the pigeon poos on some furniture in the garden or something, and someone's just going to be like, "Oh, that bloody Gary the Pigeon." It might not actually be Gary.
No.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
The thing is,
I'm
just expecting little gems.
Yeah.
From there will be little touches where you have to be. It's almost like an in joke. You know, you have to be an insider. You have to really, really know your stuff to get it. And you never know. Someone might mention Gary the Pigeon.
So, if you've got an answer,
I don't think it'd be Therese. Maybe the pigeon shits on Paul on his nice suit.
Nice.
And he goes, ah. So yeah, let's just say Paul.
Yeah, let's do Paul.
Cool. Right, next question. So question 5, who will be the first to have an accident resulting in a hospital stay? So the fan said it was Harold.
Wasn't there something though that in the trailer that Harold was worried about something, and I don't know if it might have been a health issue or something, but this specifically says accident, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's an accident. I mean, I think it's more the hospital stay than anything. So will we see them in hospital?
Oh, I don't know.
Like the first person who we'll see in a hospital bed. So a disaster, basically.
Maybe Mike, because maybe he doesn't die straight away.
If we think he's dying, we could say Mike. Are we agreeing on everything?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah. And then he just doesn't make it.
Unless it's someone like maybe Hugo, because he's done something stupid. He's a little kid.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because,
Nell's
pee up the nose or something.
Well, Nell's been in hospital a few times. So
she has. It's now Hugo's turn.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hugo.
Well, I'm going with Mike.
All right. We'll see. So the 6th one is who will be the first person to talk to Harold? They said Mackenzie, the fans.
Okay. So there's a bit where he's going to meet the new owner of Harold's, who happens to also be Harold, but he's obviously, because he's young, it's shortened to Haz.
Although I call Harold Bishop Hazza.
Yeah.
Hazza Bishop.
So I think, but he's going to need some introduction to maybe Harold. So potentially it could actually be Mackenzie.
Could be Mackenzie, yeah. They might be right. I don't know. I feel like I'm just going based on the last time we saw him and who he spoke to first when he kind of came back to guest star. I'm sure it was kind of Toadie or the Kennedys. So I feel like I'm going to go more towards Toadie, because also there's the history book, the history of Ramsay Street.
Oh yeah.
So maybe there's something around it. Yeah, so maybe there's something around that. So I'm going to say Toadie.
Okay.
And you're sticking with Mackenzie?
I'm sticking with Mac, I think. Yeah.
All right. Agreeing with the fans this time.
Yeah.
So the next question: who will be the first to use the pool in the backyard?
I mean, whose backyard? Because there's two.
What, either one?
You got the
either one. Basically, the first pool scene.
Well, okay. So if we're thinking, Mike and Jane are going to be in one of them, because that was in the old Brennan household, and then you've got Haz and Byron, which are moving into the house where Dippy and Shane Llewellyn used to live, which was Aaron and David's house. That had a pool as well. So it's those two. What are the fans saying? Byron.
Fans are saying Byron.
Yeah.
I mean, I think because they just probably want to see his kit off. I'm assuming. He is a nice looking lad, so.
True. And hasn't he been in the old Byron before they've recast him? Didn't he do a lot of stuff, a lot of scenes in the swimming pool? So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that, it being Byron.
I'm gonna say, can't remember her name. Broadwell's daughter.
Sadie.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be her. Maybe with Byron. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Cool. What are you saying, Byron as well?
Yeah, Byron.
Cool. So next one, we said, who will be the first to make a joke at Carl's expense? And the fans said it was Susan, which is the logical answer.
Again,
I think.
a logical answer. Excuse me. Don't know. What do you think?
I think I'm just going to go with Toadie.
I was going to say Toadie.
A wisecrack, you know, like
just the comedy duo.
Yeah,
they just need to. Yeah, I think Toadie too.
Defo, for sure. Cool. The next one's pretty easy. The next one is who will be the first to have an affair? So the fans said Reese,
who's our new character.
Yeah, played by Misha Barton. So yeah, I think that's been taken from the clips we've seen. I think
I was going to say this is based on people seeing Byron and Reese in the lift together, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that she's supposedly married to somebody, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm thinking if it is Toadie and Therese getting married, then the first affair we're going to hear about is Toadie and Therese.
True. Are we basing this on what we hear or what we see?
Both.
Okay. So Toadie and Therese, but then people could be right with the whole Reese and Byron thing.
Yeah. So we'll see as and when it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say who'll be the first to have an affair. I mean, if it's the two of them. So I think it depends who's having the affair, because it depends what's happening with Therese, right? Because we don't know whether she's going to get back with Paul. So if anything, Toadie's still married to Mel. Yeah. So actually, it's Toadie that's having the affair.
Yeah.
Or guaranteed to have an affair if they're both getting married. So I'm going to say Toadie.
Okay. Oh, I just don't like the thought of Toadie having affairs. I know he obviously did the whole thing.
Well, he did with Andrea.
Yeah, I know, but he thought she was D.
He still did it. He still did it.
I know. I just don't like the thought of it being Toadie. I can see where you're coming from, though. I'm really torn. Really torn. I don't think I can answer this one.
Well,
we're just going to have to go.
Are you disqualifying yourself?
Yeah. We're just going to have to go with your answer, because I refuse to believe that it's anybody else. It's anybody.
Okay, so our last question that we asked was, who will be the first person to get under Paul's skin? The fans said that it was Carl.
Carl. Get under Paul's skin. Oh, I think it's gonna be from the clips that we've seen. I reckon it's Holly, from when she's just messing around at the reception when she should be doing her job. I reckon Holly's gonna wind him up.
It's difficult with this because the obvious answer would be Reese, based on what we've seen spoiler-wise, what we've heard and what we've seen.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen straight away.
No.
Because he tends to be a suspicious person anyway. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be that quick.
No, it's going to be a few episodes in.
So, because I think we're going to see Paul irritated really quickly. I think in the first 2 episodes, we're going to get Paul getting really frustrated with someone. It's just who.
If the rumours are true, Toadie and Therese, then he's going to be, and he wants to still be Therese, then he's going to be fucking pissed off. Sorry, the explicitness. He's going to be pissed off with Toadie.
But if they've been together for like a year, 6 months, it's not going to be as fresh necessarily.
True.
So it might not be. Just trying to think of all the characters. Maybe
a hard one.
Byron, because he works at Lassiter's.
Oh yeah, and so he's obviously come back in it. Jane's probably obviously been like, you need to, because
he, a bit like Ned, because he was always giving Ned a hard time, especially at Lassiter's. So I think maybe Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah, being incompetent.
Yeah, okay. And like just, I don't know. No, we'll go Byron. Byron, I'm agreeing with you. Byron.
Cool. So, so what we'll do is we'll watch the episodes, and whenever one of those comes up, we'll discuss it in the next episode, whenever that will be.
And see who's right, you or us.
Right. So I think that's it for now.
I
think we're done. So it's that's it from us. So make sure you watch the video cast on YouTube, and that'll be available in a couple of days.
You get to see these beautiful faces.
Yeah,
so thanks for joining us, guys. We would absolutely love if you would join us on our next episode.
So after we've watched the new ones.
Oh my god, I literally cannot wait to see your reactions. Literally cannot wait. I'm so excited. Anyway, guys, we're gonna go. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.